feel like this month flew by so fast, but honestly, it's like every month flies by so fast. I guess that's what happens when you're busy, right? Or you like have a full schedule almost every day. I don't know, around this time, people are getting ready for the holidays. Sometimes they like check out of their business. Definitely a good time to gear up, when everyone's not chasing after their goals and dreams and kind of just like settling and like, oh, it's the holidays, it's this happening, it's that happening. And that's kind of like the time you take to like really ramp yourself up, right? Like when people are out on the weekends, you're at home working, right? During this time, I'm just reading the chat. During this time, I don't assume I reach out and get around them, especially my partners, to see where they're at. Meetings and mom life today. Every day is a mom day though, right? I mean, I feel like being a mom is like one of the most challenging yet rewarding things you can do in life, because there's you can't quit, right? Like being a mom, I feel like makes you so resilient. Like you have to be everything and everyone at all times. Like there is no days off, there is no holidays, there is no something happened and you don't know what happened, so someone else come and fix it, right? Or someone else come and figure it out, or like you're not able to quit. So going into that, like imagine if you treated your business that way. Like imagine if you treated your life that way, right? Yes, Anne just said, I love being a mother more than I ever did. Yes. I mean, it's a love that is like no other, right? I don't know how many of you guys on here are moms, or maybe dog moms. Dogs are some people's children, and I totally get it. They give you like unconditional love. But yeah, so going into that, like imagine if you treated your business like you did your children, right? Like if they're sick, what are you going to do? Are you going to be like, well, you're sick, I don't know how to take care of you, so you're on your own? Like you don't get that chance. You don't get that opportunity. Like, yes, treat your team that way. Yes, right? Everyone needs hand holding sometime. Like imagine if you're a mom and you can't quit on your kid, you have to be like their teacher, their doctor. You have to be like sometimes like their therapist. You have to be sometimes that, you have to be everything and everyone at all times to your children, right? Because there is no quitting on them. Like you signed up for this responsibility and it's on you. So imagine treating your business that way, right? Like imagine issues come up every day, right? Like there's always going to be issues. For people to think that there's not going to be issues and everything's always just going to be easy, like it's not true. Like there's things that's going to come up that are expected, that are unexpected, and you have two choices, right? Like you're either going to figure out what's going on and how to solve it, or you're just going to give up, right? And what I've seen is like the people that are often shying away from responsibility or shying away from actually taking action and coming up with solutions are the people that sometimes struggle to get to their goals. And why would they struggle to get to their goals? Because every single time there's a challenge presented, they're like, someone save me, someone else take the problem. This is not my problem, and then they start playing the blame game, or they start like, just like, okay, that's it. Like, I'm done. You know what I mean? You can't quit on yourself and you can't quit on the things that you want in life, right? So what is it that you want in life, and what is it that's stopping you? Because I guarantee you, most of the time, as much as we'd like to blame other people and other things, and there's a whole list of things you can blame, most of the time it's us. Like we can be our biggest and our best cheerleaders, and we can also be like our worst critics, right? Like what goes on in between your ears is what's going to set the tone for the day, the week, the year, right? So choose wisely what you believe in yourself and what you believe of what you can actually achieve. So imagine not being able to quit, right? Like imagine you set a goal, and this is like a dream goal. This is a goal that you're like, it's not going to happen for me. Like, it's not going to happen for me. Like, and you start making up all these like excuses. You start like coming up with a list of reasons. And honestly, those lists of reasons for why you can't do something, they're totally valid. If you believe it, then it's valid. Like if you believe that there's things that you can't do, you won't do, you're not able to do, and you give yourself reasons why, like you're basically telling your brain and your body like that you're not going to do it and that you can't do it. So what if you took the time to actually reprogram and rewire your mind to go into the more positive direction, right? Because I know that most people, they can be very negative, right? Like you can, but every day you have a choice, you know? And I want you guys to start thinking about like, what is your dreams? Like, what do you really want in life? And why not you? Why can't you? Right? Because we all can have the same dreams. We can all have the same goals. We can have different dreams. We can have different goals. But if you actually started to think, why not you? And of all the reasons why you can and you will, I guarantee you will actually achieve it or actually get closer to achieving your goal than if you were to come up with all the reasons why you can't, you know? Maybe you need to work on yourself more, right? Like in this industry, in this profession, you are able to work on yourself, right? Like that's like the main point, because the better you create yourself, the stronger and the wiser, like you can never regret that. You know what I mean? Like the biggest project you're ever going to work on is yourself. And working on yourself, no one can ever take that away. You know, no one can ever take that away. And so I was talking the other day to someone and I was like, you know, about a certain lifestyle, right? Like if people are always giving to you and you know what I mean? Like then you're never going to learn how to get it yourself, right? So there's a quote and it's you give a man a fish for a day and he eats for that day, right? But you teach a man how to fish and he will forever eat for the rest of his life. So who do you want to be? Like, do you want to be the person that's always getting saved, that's always, you know, being given things, that's always being taken care of? Or do you want to be the person that is able to do it for yourself? And once you're able to do it for yourself, you're actually able to teach others and help others along the way, right? Like, which one do you want to be? Because one way will last a lot longer and is long term than the other. And you can never, like, you would never go hungry if you actually learned how to get things yourself, right? So this is one of the things that I love in this business. Like of all the businesses that I've ever been a part of, I've ever acquired, this business is one of my favorites because, you know, in most companies, they don't tell you to work on yourself. They don't, you know, ask you questions. They don't say like, hey, what's your dream? Like, I'm going to help you get to your dream. No, it's just, you clock in, you clock out, you do the best you can do. You try not to get fired and that's it, right? So this business model is truly one of the best. You can out earn anyone that's signed you, and I have not seen anything like that. You know, I worked in corporate before and I worked at a business, and no matter how many hours I put, how many days I put, even when I wasn't asked, and how many tasks I took on, there was a cap. There was a cap to my earning potential, right? The only part that wasn't capped was actually the sales part of it, right? So that is also a skill set to have. If you do not have a sales skill set, get to know what sales is and how to be better at it, because this is one of the types of income streams that you set your own limit, right? And so what is your limit? Well, your limit is who you surround yourself around and who you tell yourself you are, right? So I don't know what your guys' goals and dreams are. I hope they are so big that when you tell people, they laugh at you. Like if you are not getting laughed at or made fun of, or people are not looking at you like you're crazy, then your goals are not big enough, because I promise you, if you set a really, really high goal, regardless of the fear that you may have of other people judging you or thinking negatively of you, you are going to get so much closer to that goal than you had ever imagined, right? And this is coming from a girl that once upon a time when I was younger, I couldn't afford a 25-cent pencil. Like, I could not afford a 25-cent pencil, right? So, like, in middle school, I don't know if you guys, I don't know what all the ages are, but in middle school, do you guys remember, like, when people would go buy stationery, like, they would buy their little pretty pens that smell good, that have, like, glitter in it, that have, like, the metallic colors, and they would buy their cute little notebooks with, like, the little animals and the little, like, prints and stuff, and, they would always, like, I swear, like, all the kids would always, like, they would always have money to buy that stuff, right? Like, they would always just every day, like, almost every day, they're buying a soda at the soda machine in the locker after PE for, like, $1. Like, to me, $1 is still a lot for, like, a can of soda, like, in a vending machine. Like, I, like, shrug it. Like, my kids, they don't get sodas from vending machines. I'm like, "Why would you do that when we can, just go wholesale and get it for a lot less, and you could just remember to bring it with you," right? But anyways, my kids don't really drink soda. Um, but this is coming from a girl who I still think $1 for a bottle of soda is expensive at a vending machine. I don't even think it's $1 anymore. It's like 2 or 3 or 5 gross, right? Um, I couldn't even afford like a 25-cent pencil or like what are those cute little notebooks that all the girls would write with their beautiful, cute little handwriting. I couldn't afford those $2 or $3 notebooks to be able to like write in. And so every time I would see people buy things and have things and be able to spend money on soda or after school snacks or like those little things, I was like, man, this sucks. Like being poor sucks. Like having parents that are struggling and working so hard sucks. You know what I mean? Like I wanted more for my life. I wanted more for myself. And I knew that if I ever had kids, I would never want them to struggle. I would never want them to like go watch all the girls and then the and they would take photos, right? Like you would go to the mall, your parents would drop you off at the mall and you would take photos with each other and then you would like cut them up or they would already come cut up and then you would go to school and like hand your friends like the little photos with the little cute writing on the back. Like I couldn't afford that. My parents can afford that. So imagine going to school or with a group of or going to the mall with like your group of friends. Like these are your peers. You see them every day, 5 days a week. And you guys are all going to the mall together and everyone's like, "Let's take pictures this weekend." Like cuz pictures was the thing, like actual photos that you can have in your hand that you would hand out to people and you're just watching everyone take a photo and you're just like, I can't afford it. Like, I can't pay for my share of photos. So you just stand there watching everyone take their photos, knowing that in a couple days when they go back to school, they're going to be handing it out to people. Do you guys know how much it sucks? Like, what are your struggles? What have you gone through? What have you grown through? How have you lived your life before? Because I know how I lived my life. I know the things my parents can afford. I didn't even have anything to purchase a 25-cent pen. And then to see people take photos in front of your face and to know you can't afford to take a photo with them because you can't afford to pitch in for the photos coming out after. And then they're going to go to school and they're going to disperse it. And everyone's like, "Oh, I thought you were there. Like, how come like you're not in the photo?" Like that sucks, right? Like, what are your stories? What are the things that you've grown up with? Like, has there ever been a time where you saw people have things and they could have been like the smallest, simplest things and you couldn't have it? And did you do something about it? Did that add fuel to your fire? Because every time those things happen to me, it's like I was stacking marbles in a jar. Like every time something happened like that, okay, I couldn't afford a pencil. I couldn't buy a snack after school, even if I was hungry. And I just like, it was just like a marble in the jar. Like every single time those little things happen. And every time I watched people get the things and I was like the only poor kid, right? And they would buy clothes and I couldn't buy clothes, right? Like I got hand-me-downs and most of the time hand-me-downs, they either didn't fit, they had stains, they had holes. And once a year, we would be able to go to the Salvation Army and pick out one article of clothing. So we were poor for America, right? Like that was not an ideal life. And that was not something I wanted to continue living. And that was not something I ever wanted my kids, my future kids to ever have to experience. I wanted them to have options. I wanted them to have freedom. I wanted to be able to be like, I don't need that pencil. I don't need that pen. I don't need that photo. Like I can afford it now, but do I want it? Like I really don't want it, right? So I used that fuel and those feelings of not being able to have things that other people had that were just so simple and basic in life. And I used that to say, you know what? One day I'm going to take control of my life. Like I might be too young right now, maybe to figure things out on my own, but one day I am no longer going to live like this. And going from someone who couldn't even afford to buy like an after school snack or a 25-cent pencil, I was like, one day, like I'm going to be a millionaire. Like I don't know how, but I know that this sucks and I don't want it. And I was extremely disciplined. So sometimes the people that come from like the harshest environments that had the least, they actually have more later on, right? Like they become self-made. And so what are your guys' dreams? What are your guys' goals? And then what are your excuses, right? Because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some of us make a little, some of us make a lot, some of us do a lot, some of us don't do enough, right? Like, what are your excuses? What's holding you back? Like, we do live in America, and you literally can start a business and start making money as soon as you decide to, right? So, what are your goals and dreams in life? And is it big enough that if you were to tell someone, they would think you are so crazy and they would start like maybe projecting on you, or they would start holding you to the limitations that they have of you, right? Because people are always projecting, and it's like, just because you're not capable doesn't mean that I'm not capable. Like, you don't know who I am, you don't know how I live, you don't know what I go through, or you just see what you see, right? So start to think again about what it is you really want in life, and if you've stopped dreaming, like get around dreamers, get around people, get around the people that are dreaming with you, that are running with you, and that support you and love you and tell you that you're totally capable of doing anything that you want in this life, because I'm telling you, it is so possible, but you have to decide, and you have to decide that it's for you and it's going to be you. And every day, instead of giving yourself reasons to quit and reasons to not go on, give yourself reasons of why you must, why you have to, why you want to, and why you can, right? And then start working on yourself. Like, we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, and that's okay. But being self-aware of what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are only going to help you, right? But you have to have like that level of awareness in yourself. And sometimes we are not aware. I mean, it took me a while to become aware of certain negative traits about myself, right? Like, if people are kind of telling you the same thing over and over again, and it's a lot of people, then it's probably time to kind of listen and just be like, what if they're right? Like, because 5 or 10 people have told me the same thing. And if they're not from like the same group or like the same network, so you know that they haven't been talking behind your back about like that one thing, right? Then it's kind of time to check yourself to see like, what are they saying, and like maybe something that you can improve on, right? And I know it can be very uncomfortable to admit things and to be able to like see negative traits about yourself, but I don't want you to use that towards a negative way of being. I want you to use that towards, how can I change? How can I be better? What can I do to be better? Like, there's so many things out there that like are self-help that you can find for free. There's free or like resources on YouTube. There's even free resources on social media, right? On how to help yourself. So yes, I'm just going in the chats. Binder full of photos. Yes, you know how it is. Like, you guys would get the clear, like, did you guys get the clear binders? And then like you would get a piece of paper and like start taping all your best friends' photos on there, or like your own photos. It takes me way back. It takes me way back to a place I almost don't want to be in, but sometimes a place that I take myself back into, because sometimes when you start hitting different levels or different goals in life and achieving them, you start to get comfortable, right? Like you start to get comfortable and you kind of start losing that like fire in you. And that's when it's a good time to kind of think back to like, hey, where was I before? What did I have? What did I not have? Right? Like there's so much ambition and drive and fuel to your fire when you think of the times when you didn't have something and now you have it, right? Oh, welcome, Paula. Did I say her name right? Paola or Paula? Welcome, welcome. Hi. So what are your dreams? What are your goals? Write it down and then start writing reasons why. Like why you? Why not you? Why can you? And then if you need a support group, you have us, you have the community. Lean on us, right? Like talk to us, stay close to the fire. Like, hey guys, this is my goal. I need help being accountable, and this is what happened today. What do you guys think? How can I have done things better? How can I have said things better? Right? If there is a will, there is a way. Think of all the times you went through something or something happened in your life and you were like, I'm never going to get over this. This is just going to absolutely crush me and defeat me. And you got over it. You figured a way. You found a way out. You became this person that you didn't think you could on the other side of that incident. What was meant to break you, what was meant to hurt you, to stop you, it was only meant as a lesson. How strong are you? How strong is your faith? How strong is your willpower to get over this incident? Like, how many times have things happened for you guys? And I say for you guys because when you come out on the other side, you're like, wow, I could have broken down. I could have went insane. I could have went the other way. I could have been like, some crazy drunk or some mental person, but you ended up becoming stronger. It was only a part of your journey. The lesson happened for you in order for you to be able to achieve and unlock that next level, because we will always be tested, right? And Shun taught me this. It's like a quote, like, every level has a different devil, right? So I want you guys to remember that every time you're facing a new challenge, don't think of all the negatives that are happening because of those challenges. Think of all the positive things, all of the silver lining. Like, who are you going to become after this challenge? Like, who are you going to be during this challenge, right? Like, you all have higher versions of yourself, right? You imagine yourself, you imagine where you wake up, you imagine your life, you imagine how you're going to live, you imagine having all the things that you never had, right? Well, guess what? All of these challenges are happening for you, whether it's every day, every week, every month, every season, every time something happens. Think to yourself, who am I going to become when I overcome this challenge? Or think, wow, like this is really interesting. I've never faced this before. Okay, so how am I going to get to solving this? How am I going to like save myself, right? Because you are the hero of your own journey. You just need to decide what you want in life and like really, really, really decide what it is that you want, right? Because it is possible as soon as you make that decision and as soon as you start to say, why not me? Why can't I? Here's all the reasons why I can achieve that. Here's all the reasons why I deserve to achieve that. Here's all the reasons why and all the lessons that I've learned along these years of my life that have prepared me for that, right? And there will be challenges. There will always be challenges along the way. Like, whether you have money, whether you don't have money, you will always face challenges along the way, right? Like when I was younger, I didn't have much. So I was like, well, I don't have much, right? And I didn't see that as a bad thing. I was like, you know what? Because I don't have much and I want so much more, like I'm going to get so much more. Like, I'm going to be that person in my own life that helps to change the trajectory of the generational like wealth in my family, right? Like that's going to be me. And when your mind is set on that thing, subconsciously, like this is like scientifically proven, subconsciously, your brain will start working on the things that you want, but you have to make a decision. You have to be very clear on that decision, and you have to be very intentional with your every single day, right? And there will always be problems. One day you can't afford something that's 25 cents, and the next day, you can afford it, right? And so, do you stop after you reach a goal? Do you stop after you've achieved something? No, you keep going, right? You keep going, you keep going, you keep going until one day you're like, wow, like I've come a far way, but you were so focused on getting there. You didn't think of all the setbacks. You didn't think of all the challenges. You just kept going through them, figuring it out, and be solution driven, right? Like, so as someone that's watched a lot of people, I've had to train a lot of people, I had to watch a lot of people. And I would say, like, if you're not solution oriented and you're always thinking about problems and why it's a problem and like what you feel about it, like, you are not going to get very far. Okay. Be solution driven, be solution oriented, right? So, whenever people tell me a problem, and they kind of keep talking about it, like they're complaining about it, and they're just like, la, 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 la. And I'm just like, so what's the solution? Because all I'm hearing is problems. But really, like in my mind, I'm digging for solutions. So there really never is a problem, because with every problem, with every challenge, with every lesson, there is a solution. There is a silver lining. What is that solution? What is that silver lining? Start thinking about all those things. Solve your own problems, right? Figure it out. Stop getting so caught up and drowned in the emotions of how you feel about the problem, instead of actually looking at it from an analytical standpoint and being like, okay, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? How can I be the solution to this issue? And how can I grow from finding my own solutions so that these things are no longer issues, right? Like, what's the next challenge? And yes, what Ange said, the universe will test you. Life is all about challenge and pain behind the scenes. It is what you do about it moving forward. Adapt to uncertainty. But what's nice is we have each other. We aren't alone. That is why I love this movement and business model. There's no other business. You got people rooting you on. Life and business is war. You got to be stronger than your feelings, period. Yes. I often see, can you go up a little bit more? I often see people, they get caught up in like the negative spiral. They get caught up in the emotions of their problems instead of getting caught up in the solutions to your problems. You are the solutions to your problem. What is your problem? What is your solution? And once you come to the solution of your problem, there will be another challenge. But if you stop looking at challenges and problems in a negative way, but instead use that to empower yourself and add fuel to your fire, you will keep overcoming things, right? This is in personal and this is in business. Like in business, usually what we're doing is solving issues. Like every day there's going to be an issue, but I don't ever expect there not to be an issue in personal or in business. Would it be nice if there wasn't? Yeah, but where's the growth? How are you going to grow? How are you going to grow as a person if you are never challenged ever, right? So start to embrace the challenges that you face. Let's see. Single mom. So Nancy says, single mom at age 19, used all my struggles and parents to be better for my daughter who is 13 now. Wow. Congratulations. Single moms are a different animal. You guys are a different beast. I was raised by a single mom, right? I was raised by a single mom. I barely saw her. It was microwave dinners and frozen veggies that we microwaved. That's what we ate for dinner. On Sundays, you guys know those huge lasagnas from like Sam's Club or Costco, like those really huge family size ones that I feel like are meant to be warmed up for like one big family meal. Yeah, that was mine and my brother's dinner for a week. A week. So, once a month or a few times a month, my mom would buy those huge family-sized lasagnas. Sometimes it was the meat one, sometimes it was the vegetable one, and she would cook it on a Sunday. She would bake it in the oven, and then, it was nice when it was nice and hot and fresh from the oven, and then after, we would put it in the fridge, and then we would have, like, frozen Normandy vegetables, the broccoli, cauliflower, carrot, frozen in a bag in the freezer. And so she'd be like, well, there's your dinner for the week. There's your dinner for the week, because I have work all day back to back, and then I go to school at night, And so every day, pretty much for a week, my brother and I would go home from after school. We would walk home, right? We would walk home, and then it was a piece of lasagna from the fridge, frozen vegetables from the freezer, and that would be like our after school snack and our dinner for like an entire week. So I actually am okay to eat the same thing over and over again. Like, I know some people, they don't do leftovers and they can't eat the same thing over and over again. I'm just one of those people that can, right? And maybe some of you guys think that's very uncomfortable, but when you live like that and you grow up like that, when you start to have a different life and you're actually able to have options, it actually becomes a lot harder, right? Like, sometimes my kids are like, "What's for dinner?" And I'm like, "I mean, can we just eat the same thing?" Like, I don't want to think about what's for dinner. Like, when you live a hard life, when you are younger, when you grow up, you appreciate so many more things, right? And if you're a single mom, hats off to you. Like, it is one of the hardest things that you'll ever have to do. I was a single mom for a bit, right? Like, I was married before we divorced, and I was a single mom. And luckily, I was able to be fine, right? Because I've never stopped working, right? So since I was 16, I was in high school. I started college at 16. I was working, helping my mom to give her whatever I could make, right? And all I knew was I wanted a better life for us. I wanted to be able to buy a house for my mom and my brother. And I didn't want to see my mom struggle, right? Like, it's hard to watch your parents work 12, 14, 16 hours a day. Like, that is not easy, right? But you know what will be harder is if you don't equip yourself with the tools to show your kids that they can have better, right? So you imagine that for your parents. Now imagine that for your kids, right? So if you don't ever start to work on yourself and chase after your goals and dreams, what are they going to learn? What can you teach them? Right? If not for you, what about for them? And maybe you don't have kids, but maybe you want to have kids one day, right? Or maybe not at all. But what about you, right? Like, how good would you feel writing a dream down and then achieving it? And once you achieve it, life doesn't stop. You set the next one and the next one and the next one. And life is just about getting better and better and better, and challenging yourself to be someone that you never thought maybe was possible. And you have this beautiful community of people that are right here with you, rooting for you, right? We're all in the same boat, and we're all going towards something that we once never thought was possible together. And we're cheering for each other, right? And how is your journey going to look? Your journey is going to look maybe similar or maybe different than someone else, but it doesn't matter, because it's your journey. It's not their journey. It's your journey. It's what you want. It's what you need to grow to the next level, right? So, uh, I live hard, or I love hard. I live hard on God wouldn't put me through something I wouldn't be able to handle. Yes. And so I don't know if you guys pray. I don't know if you guys have something or someone or whatever God you believe in out there, but yeah, it does make it easier when you have some type of faith, because you're like, you know what? I'm not going to try to control things, and I'm going to just like put it out there and let someone take the driver's seat, right? Um ugh, I really need a mouse, babe. Like, I cannot with this.
Be a problem solver.
I cannot with this. Yeah, my problem solving would be to get a mouse. But yeah.
Yeah, you guys are touching on a lot of points, really good points. Dang, that's a lot.
Yes, Amy, turning your struggles into strengths. B, single mom of 4 at 26. Wow. Blessings in disguise. Just keep it moving. Yes. Stouffer's lasagna. Yeah, but I think it was like the big warehouse one. So I feel like Stouffer's taste like a bit better, but yeah. I mean, imagine nowadays like having your kids eat the same thing over and over again. They're just like, "Oh my gosh, like why am I eating this again?" You know?
There's people doing that though. You know what I mean? Like there's people right now doing that, and they just don't know that there's a vehicle out there to help them out. You know what I mean? That's like part of the job, right? It's about showing them the light, showing them that there is a way. There's so many things that you guys touch on. Like I can hook onto a lot of different things, but I'm gonna just I can't get inside here, you know? I think it was strategic how you positioned yourself.
What do you mean you can't get in? Go around.
That's the power
Here.
of content, you know?
Here. Take a seat.
I can't
We
get
have a
in.
seat waiting for you. Oh, it is very squishy. Here. Usually you position my chairs.
I know, but I've been packing for Legoland.
Oh yeah, so we're going to Legoland today. So it is going to be a very long day. And last night we stayed up because Shun is helping me edit videos, right? Like he's one of my video editing team members. So we stayed up late looking at videos, him editing and just being like, "Great job, honey. That's so good. You're such a professional."
Oh my gosh. No, there's okay, I'll tell you this, like there's many things starting even from the very beginning of the call because you guys were talking about how um your business, like you want to treat your business like your
Your
child,
child. Yeah.
right? Well, guess what? In business, especially when you're starting out, right? If you didn't acquire a business that's already cash flowing, it's already,
The
crushing it.
foundation's already set. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already operational, it's turnkey. Then the business that you start is a baby, actually. It's a baby. So what happens if you don't feed a baby? Bad things happen. It's the same thing with your business. How do you feed your business? Right? You feed your business with sales. Okay? You feed your business by acquiring clients and customers. You feed your business by getting sales in because the lifeblood of any business is sales. So if your business is not growing, if your child, your baby is not growing because it's not getting fed sales, then guess what? It's only going down. That's what happens. And then if you think about it, right? Because a business is a life. Like think of it that way. That's the framework. So in the very beginning of your business, you do a grand launch, you're a grand opening, right? And you have to feed the business, right? You have to feed it. If you don't feed it, it dies. So how after you fed it for like a year, 2 years, right? You're pushing hard. You do a 90-day run in the very beginning, right? You create momentum. Then you get to the 18-month timeline, the 18-month time frame, right? At 18 months, that's where you can really have a lot of clarity on the data. And then from there, you can be very strategic with what the next moves are, right? The next 90-day, the next 18 months. So from there, that baby, right? Your business is kind of like what's next after that? Baby, kid, right? And then from there, it goes to a teenager and then it goes to an adult. It's the same thing. There's cycles in business. And so, but the whole point is how long do you have to feed someone for? Forever, right? How long do you have to feed your business for? Forever. So if you don't have a machine that's continuously feeding sales into your business, if you don't have a system for sales, then that's something to think about, right? It's the same exact thing with, all the like everyone's life, everyone's journey, right? You were talking about how your mess can be your message, right? Whatever you've gone through, whatever challenges, trials, tribulations you've been through, that's the power of your story. That's the power of what you can do and what you can share. And the beauty that we have in this business or in this business model and with social media in general is there are free tools out there. There are tools that you can use to amplify your voice, to amplify your stories, to get your message out there. And that's the power of knowing skills. That's the power of learning, of being open-minded to change, of being able to commit to saying, I'm going to be better because I want more, or I'm going to do better because I know better. There's many different ways to it, but
Use
Skills is
your
everything.
pain.
Yeah.
Use your pain as your power. If you use your pain as your power and you understand that your mess will be your message and someone's survival guide one day, use that. Use all of that and then combine it. Combine it with the sales, the marketing, the systems, the personal development, all those things, right? But at your core, at your very, very core, what is your willpower like? Do you need to be in more pain in order to push through that threshold?
Mm.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, go for it if you want.
Oh, I'm reading. So imagine if you treated your next person like you do with your kids. Perspective. Some people don't want to handhold or cater. That means you don't deserve them at their best. Support and challenge them. That's leadership. If you don't know how to work with people, you got to learn how. You need people. We need people. This business and team is made and expanded and stretch your thinking. And yes, you do, right? Like there's that quote that you told me before. Do you remember?
Which
You were
one?
like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? Like, have you guys heard of that quote before? It's really the people that create a movement. And before,
Mhm.
like I was a type, like I was always very independent. So I always did things on my own time. I always just pushed and pushed and pushed because I'm like, if I wait for you, like I will never get there. So I personally have sped through life very, very quickly, right? Because I used my own willpower, my own pain, my own mess, my own dreams and goals was my choice, right? But if you want to go far, it's people. It's
Yeah.
people that make a business. It's people with the same visions and the same dreams as you that could get you or everyone to that point. And so
Mhm.
there's definitely been a shift in my mindset, in my thinking when it comes to people, right? Like maybe you might run at 100 miles per hour and someone is at like 1, right?
Yeah, it just depends on your business though. It depends on the stage of your business, right? So, like for example, like don't handhold people and or cater, right? It depends though, right? It depends. In the very beginning of your business, that's why I say like your business is like it's like a being, a life, right? In the very beginning of your business, you better handhold your babies. You better handhold the babies because you have to feed the business. You have to handhold the business in the very beginning before it's able to start to acquire the skills to feed itself, right? So, for example, with Devin, right? With Devin, right? Crystal was like saying, you know what? We should just feed Devin a steak. And I was like, no, we should not. Why? Because she doesn't know how to chew yet. So,
It was called baby led weaning. And I did my research and I'm a third time mom. So, he was very cautious because it's his first kid, right? I'm like, no, there's a thing called baby led
yeah.
weaning. She's fine. It's fine. She'll gag and that's a good reflex. And, we're here in a controlled environment. She's fine.
Yeah. So, but that's the point, right? Like baby led weaning led to Devin learning how to chew, learning how to eat her own food, learning how to feed herself. She acquired the skill set of eating, right? Your business, when you have systems in place, right? When you create a system and you have a system in place, it's going to start to be able to feed itself. And that's the whole point though. Like that's the power of setting up the right systems. When it comes to IPAs, income producing activities, right? At one point in time, in the very beginning of your business, you need to start to obviously incorporate income producing activities into your DMO, your daily method of operation, your scheduled daily routine. And then from there, once that's set up, now the machines start to work, right? With content. Content is about just, you have to go at it. It's consistency over time. And then from there, if your content is valuable to the market, then that's when you're going to start to get a lot more attention. That's when you're going to start to get the views increasing. That's when you're going to start to get inquiries of, hey, I want this, or what is this about? There's going to be interest that you're piquing. Again, marketing is all about just, I have this. This is what I have to offer to the market. This is where I'm at. Now, who is the person that needs it, right? How can you get the attention of the people that need your product or service, your idea, your message? How can you get your message in front of more eyes on social media? In person, same thing, right? Again, in person is just one to one or one to many. Base it if you're speaking on stage. And when it comes to social media, social media is your stage. Social media is your platform, and you're able to speak to the masses. If you get a viral video, guess what? How many people did you hit? 1 million people. Those are 1 million people that you could have not, it would be impossible to do one-on-one with 1 million people, basically, right? And who would want to do that like in today's time, in today's world? I don't know. I don't know how much time and energy like you have to spend, but that's a lot of hours. That's a lot of days, right? So again, though, it depends on your stage of your business. But you're gonna apply these skills to every aspect of your business. You're gonna have, especially in Thrive, you're gonna have new people who need handholding, who need to be catered to. However, there is a difference when it comes to the mindset, because there are people who are leaders and there are people who are followers. And the ones who are followers, guess what? Yes, handhold, cater, do your best to help them transition into a leadership role. As a leader, it's your job and your duty and your responsibility. If you have the capability to provide a skill set of coachability, of being able to teach someone how to become a leader, how to step into that leadership role, right? Sometimes there are people out there who they don't know that they're a leader. They don't know that they have a leader inside. And it takes a leader, a role model for them to pull that leader out of them. And then from there, you inspire them to take that action, to take that step forward towards becoming that next version of themselves, becoming that future version of themselves, becoming that person that they know inside, but they may be scared to step into, right? That's part of leadership right there. Leading your own ship and inspiring other people just by being you. So there's many different frameworks, there's many different stages of the business and especially of leadership. But again, it depends on the leader that you are. It depends on if you really care about people. It depends on if you have abundance and not scarcity. It depends on if you have a personal development level where you can teach other people how to fish without any scarcity, without thinking that, oh, if I teach them this and they surpass me, then I'm no good. I don't know. There's many different stages to leadership. There's many different stages to personal development and growth. But again, when it comes to this vehicle, when it comes to Thrive, one of our main purposes, one of the main pillars of Thrive is personal development, is leadership development, is self-mastery, is knowing yourself to become better. So that way, the next person that you touch, you inspire, you motivate, you move through your words, through your actions, through your mindset, through how you are, they will understand just through observation that it's possible. They will understand through observation because of you setting the example for them that I can be better. I can become this. My goals and dreams are possible. I can do this. I believe in myself now. I am ready to go after my goals. Despite the opposition, despite the people saying all the hate, despite all the negativity out there, become solution oriented, become a person of integrity that is authentic to yourself. That's what's inside within, right? There's many different stages to business. There's many different people that you have to cater to in a sense, but that again depends on leadership, right? It depends on where you're at in your business. It depends on who really needs it. One skill that a lot of good investors, a lot of high-level people have is talent acquisition. Okay, talent acquisition. That means you're able to spot talent and if you want to invest in that talent over the long term. So for example, I had to do like hiring for the former company that I worked with. And so this was with Ty Lopez, right? I was head of support at Ty Lopez. At one point in time, I had to manage over 30 people in a company that had over 70 people. And every single person that came into the company had to go through customer support, especially if they're an entry-level person in the company. And so I had final say. I had to interview them and I had to say yes or no to them. And I would have final say. So every single person that came through Ty Lopez's company from late 2015 till 2017, I said yes or no to. There are many people that I said yes to in that company that are now successful. They're millionaires. There are people that I said yes to because I saw the potential in them of what they could become, not what they are. And now there's one person that I want to talk about. His name is Adam. Okay, Adam has a stutter, and in our job, in the culture of Thai and Knowledge Society, when I was running it, right, our culture was if you're not a cleaner, right? There's Tim Grover's book, Relentless, right? Coolers, closers, and cleaners. Cleaners is the top of the top. It's the Michael Jordan, right? It's the Michael Jordan of basketball. Everyone in our team was cleaners only. We only accepted cleaners. If you didn't have the potential to be a cleaner, you were not a part of the team. There was one guy named Adam. I had to interview him. The HR, they said, I don't know if we should hire this person. Why? I walk into the interview room, and the moment he starts speaking to me, he's stuttering. He's like, my name's like that. He's stuttering, okay? And for me, though, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not judging, right? Because my job is to fully vet this person to know, are they going to be a good fit for the culture, a good fit for the company, a good fit long term, not just short term, but long term for this company. Guess what? I start to interview him. I start to ask him questions. I let him tell me his story. He's speaking with knowledge and experience and expertise, and his passion comes through. Like, I give him that's part of leadership, is being able to provide a space, a friendly, open, and safe space for that new person. That's what I did for him. That's what I did for Adam. So despite everyone saying, no, we should not hire this guy, I don't like, it's really, I don't think it's going to be a good fit, but you got to come in anyways, Shun, and you have to interview this person and you have to give the final word. I come into the room. I'm talking to Adam with his stutter and all. I start to get to know him within 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, this guy is a cleaner. This guy is a cleaner. I know for a fact he's a cleaner. Guess what? Here's what happens next. This is part of sales now. Because back then, everything was just phone sales, right? So there's people from all over the world, all different countries, speaking different languages, but obviously we're speaking English. So the people from Germany are speaking English to us. People from, not from Australia, but people from other countries that English is not their native language. They are, they're calling in. And Adam is on the phone with his stutter and all, and he's closing sales. He's closing deals on the phone, and his percentage of closing was in the top of the entire team. Why? It's because he had the expertise, the knowledge, the experience, the passion. He had integrity, and he was authentic to himself. He just needed a platform to be successful in. And guess what? To this day, from the day that I said yes to him and training him up, giving him that skill set, providing personal development for him, providing that success platform for him to be successful on, that platform for him to be successful on, he is still at the company right now. And he's not only is he at the company, but he's literally traveling with the founder of the company, with Ty. He's always traveling with Ty. He's always out there, right hand, in person, in the events. He has proximity. He has proximity with the highest level people in the world because of one thing, just one decision. He took a chance on himself. He stepped out, right? He stepped out into the fear of the unknown. Regardless if he was going to get a job or not, he just took a chance on himself. He took a chance on change. And then from there, for whatever reason, I just happened to be in his life at that time, and I gave him the opportunity, and I said yes. We hired him on the spot. To this day, he's still there. He's still out there traveling. He's still out there crushing it. He's still out there going after his goals and dreams. He's happy. He's living his best life. Right there. That right there is part of leadership. Perspective. Being able to spot talent. Being able to see the potential in someone and saying, this person, I know where they can go. But how are they going to get there? Well, if I have the power, if I have the capability to say yes to them and give them a platform to be successful in, then why not? That's what every single person here has. You have the power to give someone a platform for them to be successful on, to change their family trajectory, their family financial tree, to change their future trajectory of their life, their path. You have that opportunity now. How? Share your link. How? Speak to someone who's like in pain. How? Show someone that it's possible. Help them provide, their message to the world through their mess, right? There's many things.
There's someone out there that's going to relate to someone,
Yeah.
like you just never know who you're going to help, whose life you're going to touch, and who needs it the most, right? But you also have to have posture, right? Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What is your intention? What is your dream? Because at the end of the day, it's up to you in order to get your dreams and your goals. Like, No one's going to do it for you. And when it gets done by someone else or someone else does it for you, like what growth is that? Like you're not going to feel good about yourself because at the end of the day, you know that you didn't do it yourself, right? Like you have to become someone new, like a newer, better, more defined version of yourself, right? To get somewhere you've never been before,
Mhm.
you have to be someone you've never been before. But that person, your best version, is on the other side of you making that decision. And every day is a new day, is a new opportunity that you have to make a decision for yourself, make a decision for your family, make a decision for your dreams, your goals. What is it? And why do you have that? And what pain are you in? What do you not want to continue experiencing every single day, right? What keeps you up at night? Because the same thing that keeps you up at night should be the same thing that wakes you up in the morning, that gets you going. That should be the same thing when you come across a challenge or a problem. That should be the same thing that pushes you past that challenge, right? And then believe in yourself, number one. If you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be harder, right? Or stay around the people that believe in you, because maybe you don't believe in yourself yet. But there's someone out there who brought you on, who brought you in, that believes in you and your power. We all have something unique inside of us to bring out and share into this world. Find your message, find your voice, right? Like, believe in yourself, right? Believe in yourself. But besides believing in yourself, like if someone believes in you, like stick close to them, right?
Mhm.
Like this business is forever. Like you're always going to be in the business of improving yourself, in living and wanting more, right? What is it that you want? What is it that you want in life? Why did you stop wanting that? Why did you stop believing that it could be yours, right? There's so many successful people out there that started in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, but that's life. And you can't compare your journey to someone else's. Someone may have been super successful as a teenager or in their early 20s doing the same thing that you want to do. And maybe you're a little bit older, but it does not matter. That is your journey, because comparison is a thief of all joy. So don't compare your journey to someone else's. Compare your journey to what your journey was yesterday, what it's going to be tomorrow. Just
Mhm.
keep working on yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, because no one can ever take that away, right? Once you acquire that skill set of just working on yourself and becoming the best version of yourself each and every single day, no one will ever be able to take those things away from you. And everything that you learn, everything that you become, you can take across anything in all aspects of life, right?
Yes. And, to end everything off, right? For things to change, you have to change, right? For things to get better, you have to get better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills, right? Don't wish for less challenges, wish for more wisdom. That's what Jim Rohn says, literally verbatim. And so all of us, okay, all of us have the potential to make change, to make big waves. All of us have the potential to do something different, to get something better, to deserve more. But we have to work at it. We have to step into it and really go after it. And despite all the opposition, despite all the negativity, despite all the haters, the closet haters, despite what people are saying behind your back, despite what's going on behind closed doors, right? This is your journey. This is for you and you alone. And by you being the best version of yourself, by you stepping out into the fear of the unknown, by you going on your path and dominating it, by being your authentic self and becoming louder, right? Louder with your authentic voice within, you're going to be able to inspire the masses. You're going to be able to inspire those lives out there who need it the most. You're going to be able to touch the hearts of people out there who need that extra light that's within from you. So this right here, okay? Everyone who's here, you're here for a reason. What is that reason though? What is that reason for you? Right? And what Crystal was saying, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. We're in this journey together. We're here not by ourselves. We're not alone, right? You're not alone in this journey towards your goals and dreams, towards the success that you want, towards the impact that you want to make, towards the legacy that you want to leave behind. Whatever that is for you, whatever your dream is, your vision, your goals, the things that you really want to put out there into the world, the things that you want to experience in your life now, not in the next lifetime, in this lifetime, okay? Whatever that is for you, you are not in it alone. You have a community right here. You are not alone. This is your tribe. This is your mastermind. This is your group. This is your extended family, right? This is your second family, your second home. Guess what? If you ever, again, there's a quote, right? Sometimes Power Hour needs you, and sometimes you need Power Hour, right? Well, guess what? If you're feeling down, or if you're at the peak of the top of the top, you're feeling super inspired and fired up, that's the time. Both times is when you hop on Fire Hour, right? Both times is when you hop onto the Zoom. Both times is when you reach out to a friend who needs it the most. Both times is when you inspire that next person to come on, to join this community, to join this family. So that way they have a home. That way they have a second home to come to. They're not alone, right? There's a lot of people out there in the world today that are looking for this. They just don't know that it exists. They're looking for a second home. They're looking for a home. They're looking for some people who are fired up and motivated to go after their goals and dreams, to be relentless, to be fearless, to go after everything that they feel like they deserve, right? You're here for a reason. Guess what? It's time, right? September is coming to an end. October is about to begin. Guess what? October is change. It's the closing of one chapter and the opening of another. What is your next chapter going to look like? What is your next chapter going to be? It's up to you. All right. So let's fucking make it happen. Sorry for cussing, but let's make it happen. I'm fired up. Let's get it. Okay. Have an amazing day. Dominate your path. Bring on the people. Okay. Bring on whoever needs this. Okay. Make it happen. All right. You got this. We believe in you. We love you. Welcome home. For those who are new, welcome home. And let's freaking crush it. All right. End September on a strong note, on the strongest note you can possibly begin. All right. And then from there, October is happening. All right. So let's freaking do it. Make it happen. Have an amazing day. We love you all, and peace out.
Love you guys. Bye.